Hey guys, so here we are in our humble sewing station on Unwritten Timeline. We are at a marina in Puerto Rico. We're going to be here about 30 days, so we need to really take advantage to the unlimited power, unlimited water, and the extra dock space for sewing. We need to redo our Dodger. It's 16 years old and it needs replacing. We would like to add an enclosure because we don't have one, and I think that would come in handy when it's really rainy and cold. So we'd like an enclosure. So to start the Dodger today, I'm going to show you guys what I do to prepare the machine. There's a few things that we need to make sure are in place before we get started, before you just start sewing and things are going crazy and chaotic. I need to make sure I have the correct needle. In the sewing machine, I had an 18 gauge. I need a 20 gauge. Why do I need a 20 gauge, you may ask? Good question. We are going to sew strata glass facing, which is 2-inch navy facing, and this is bolt rope. So in our track for the top of it, we're going to slide this in. This is going to be folded like this to kind of give you an idea of the top portion of the Dodger. And I need a needle that's going to go through all of this. Luckily, I have a sailrite. Woo! Love sailrite. You guys are awesome, by the way. They have wonderful YouTube how do you do it videos. Anyway, I need a gauge that's going to go through all of this material and the isinglass, strata glass, plexiglass, whatever you want to call it, for these layers. And then that also, I have to pay attention to what thread am I using. I did have V, which is the UV protected polyester thread, and it was the 46. For this project, I want the 92. It's more sturdy and is going to be able to withstand the elements a little bit better than the 46. I need to wind some bobbins, put in the needle, and then do a test. This is my testing. Testing, you know what I mean. I need to test it because I want to get the tension right before I actually just start sewing away. So let's get to it, guys. Let's go. Start sewing. Okay, so that does not sound good. Something's hitting. Oh, the needle broke. Bad news, guys. So I was sewing my test piece to adjust the tension, broke the needle, and I don't know if you can see this. It's bent, and that's more than a burr. So I need to get a replacement part. We're gonna have to put this project on pause. Till next time. And we're back. The pause is over, my friends. So we ordered the retaining ring cap from Sailrite. We got it within a couple days because they're awesome and their service is awesome. However, what we did off camera is we pulled out our Sailrite book, that manual. It basically tells you how to set up your machine and replace things if you need, as you need. We also, I say it's basically me, watch the video where you can learn how to replace your retaining ring cap. So we did all of that off scene, made sure that all of it's working right, and I'm ready to do the test run that we were going to do last time when we broke the needle and found out that we needed to do some replacements. I have 40 gauge strata glass, which also was purchased by Sailrite. Pretty much all my sewing stuff is purchased by Sailrite. I don't even know if I have anything that's not Sailrite. Maybe scissors or something like that. Anyway, 40 gauge strata glass. I'm using 2-inch facing, and this is the navy blue. And if you're new to sewing, there's a ton of different shades of navy. And bolt rope. This is going to be the top part of the Dodger, and of course this is what's going to slide into the track to get it into place and hold the top part of it. So let's put these pieces together as I would if I'm actually sewing the Dodger, and get our tension set. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So you want nice even stitching, no piling, nice even stitching. Does the camera pick this up? We'll see. And I'm going to take this out and test it just to make sure that I didn't sew this too close to the top, that we can still thread this through the track. Make sure that I have that spacing correct.
When the isinglass comes in the package, it's in a roll. Before you get ready to use it, we found it's best to like roll it out a little flat and leave it in the sun, because it kind of takes out some of those ripples that are in there. So we're going to leave it out here for about an hour in the morning sun. That way we can cut it pretty easy when we get around to doing that.
One of the first steps is removing the old Dodger so we could use it as a pattern. Here you see Dave tracing the outside of the old Dodger onto the new Strataglass with a grease pencil. A grease pencil is a good idea to use because it's easily wiped off the glass. You don't want to use a marker or a regular pencil. We have already cut the pattern for the glass, the sunbrella, the bolt rope, and the 2-inch facing. Now we're putting all those pieces together. When sewing on a boat, limited space can be an issue, especially sewing large projects. It definitely helps to have an extra set of hands to guide the material while sewing.
I just changed the bobbin, and while I was changing the bobbin, I noticed that I have a lot of fuzz and some sticky tape left over from the binding tape. So I'm going to clean out where my feed dog is, and then also the presser foot. And a good way to clean your needle is 4x4 or 2x2 cotton gauze and rubbing alcohol. And that can really get that basting tape stickiness off of your needle and get it nice and sharp again, or nice and clean rather. While I'm here, I'm going to check with my fingernail to feel if I feel any burrs. Make sure the tip of my needle is still sharp. And that I got the sticky. I think we're good to go. Nice and clean.
Here, Dave is cutting the glass for the side panel. He is using the basting tape to baste the screen in between two pieces of sunbrella. This will help hold the screen in place until sewing. The 2 layers of sunbrella add structure to ensure the snaps do not pull out over time. I had a fun time getting a workout while trying to hold and maneuver the large panel as I sewed. Once the pieces of the panel were sewn together, we installed snaps with the press and snap tool in order to cover each panel. Finally, we were ready to test fit in success. We were able to zip and snap in place.
Does it look dark in the cockpit? It does. I have 2 side panels with covers, a new Dodger with a cover, so all the Strataglass, plexiglass, isinglass, whatever word you choose to use, is covered. Hopefully we're extending the life of it like I mentioned before, but it does look nice and cozy and shady in here. I think we're really going to enjoy this when we get to our next island and we're at anchor and don't have AC. Guys, I am so excited. We are going to show you our full Dodger, full enclosure with covers and all. So one side of the boat, the starboard side, is going to be the Dodger and the enclosure without the covers. And then on the port side, I'm going to show you what our full enclosure and Dodger looks like with the covers. I'm so excited on Unwritten Timeline to have this project complete. So before we get started, let me put this out here. There is so much information that I want to tell you guys, that I want to let you know about the troubles and tribulations that we had while making this project. It was a huge undertaking. It probably really took us about a whole month, maybe even a month and a half to complete. And there's a lot of information. I might forget something. So if I don't answer all your questions, please leave us a comment and ask your question. We will be more than happy to let you know what we found out, or we'll figure it out for you and let you know. I had a difficult time. The Dodger is split in half. We have this bar here, and there's a starboard side and the port side. The Dodger is attached with waterproof zipper, and then there's a U to go around the bar. So to basically line everything up so it meets exactly with the zipper, it's a zipper on the bottom, a zipper on the top, and the U around the bar. That was quite tricky. And then of course 2-inch facing, because we were trying to cover up some of the waterproof zipper. We did add a smile, starboard side and port side. This is for better viewing when sailing, also for more airflow and ventilation, which we can just snap right up. Or put down if it is raining or if there's inclement weather. So let's go to the side panel. Each panel, go ahead and get in here close because I want to show you guys this. Each panel is attached by zippers. They're double-sided zippers, so I can either pull it from this side, or if I'm on the inside of the cockpit, I can unzip from in there also. The side panel has a full 40-gauge strata glass. All the glass that you see is the 40-gauge strata glass on the top, and then for more ventilation we have a screen on the bottom. One of the really cool tricks, we can unsnap this and I'm going to roll it up. Before I roll it up, one of the things that I want to show you is this little hole here. Talk about tricky. Holy smokes, it really gave me a time because I put binding around it just to give it a little bit more oomph, because our Genoa sheet comes aft and comes directly through this hole and goes to a track on the inside into the winches in the back. So we have the hole. Just unsnap it. Unzip the side panel from the corner panel. I got straps that snap on this side and hold this up. So here I am at the helm station. I got the wheel, I got the throttles, and I can see forward, I can see aft. I can pull in that dock that I've never been into before. Easy breezy. Or I just want a little extra air. So now I'm going to take you to the corner panel. A squall is coming, a squall is coming. And we need a sheet in the Genoa. No problem. Here we go. We have a nice little cutout in our corner panel that when we're not using, we just roll up and zip. But if we are using, we're sailing, we can still use the winch. Pretty awesome, right? This panel can also, all the panels can be removed at any time. 40-gauge strata glass, umbrella on the bottom. Let's go to the door. This is also attached to the corner panel, both corner panels, starboard and port, by zippers. if we don't say we're coming in and out and we're not stationary. One of the things that we've been doing since we've been here is I take it, unsnap this one, snap it up. I'm going to the grocery store. I know I'm going to be gone for a little bit and I'm going to have something in my hands. I can just have it halfway up and get in. Or what else can we do with this? Unzip this side. And you guessed it, roll this puppy up just like the side panel. These are really large panels. If I have two people, it's easier. Or if I'm not trying to talk and look at the camera, it's easier too. But we can roll this all the way up, and then I have straps up here, and it's up out of the way. When we were in the Caribbean, we pretty much had it up the whole time. We didn't bring it down until we came into the marina. Another cool feature, this cover is on. We have glass at the top of the door. What do you have on the bottom? There is a huge screen on the bottom. So if we have cold weather or there's a squall and there's a lot of rain, heavy rain, we get airflow here, airflow from the screens on the bottom, and it's pretty comfortable. No problems. You say you want to see what the enclosure looks like with the covers? I am glad you asked, because I want to show you what all of this looks like with the covers on. This way, guys. This is the corner panel cover. This is where the winch would be. Side panel cover. This is the glass on top. The screen on the bottom. One of the things that we tried to make sure that we did is when we were making these covers, if we had a top and a bottom, basically on the side panels and the door, the top panel is a little bit longer and goes over the bottom cover. That way, hopefully, if there is rain, it just trickles straight down. And the port side Dodger cover. So that pretty much gives you a 360 view of what the Dodger and the enclosure looks like with and without the covers. I would like to take a short moment, to give a warm and loving shout out to Janelle Gehring, who owns the Atlantic Canvas Company. She took the time to mentor me for a few short months and teach me so much. She was such a help in giving me sewing skills that I needed to complete this project. Thank you, Janelle. We both, Dave and I, really appreciate it and love our enclosure and our Dodger. If you're interested in the materials that we used, I purchased pretty much all of the materials from Sailrite. I have a Sailrite LSZ1 sewing machine, and that's what I was able to sew all of these projects with, and the snaps and all of that good stuff. Sailrite, if you would like a product list or materials list, you will find that in the description down below. As always, we hope that you guys enjoyed this episode, and we will see you next time. Okay.
You might have heard somebody say they're going under us while Lisa was filming.
Did you hit your head?
Amani, which is a few boats down from us in the marina, had a couple of their girls come underneath Unwritten Timeline in their kayak just as we were finishing up. They were taking a little kayak tour of the marina today.